Would really shake up the race for president. New York's mayor, Mike Bloomberg, he stunned the political world last month when he defected from the Republican Party, a move that fueled speculation he might make a run for the White House. And what a run it would be. By some estimates, if Bloomberg ran, he could burn through as much as $500 million of his personal fortune. But whether he runs or stays on the sidelines, he's already shaking up the '08 race. He's a man many Americans might not recognize. But could this billionaire be the next big presidential contender? New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg's schedule has certainly been busy. We caught up with him in the swing state of Missouri, meeting St. Louis's mayor. Then addressing the National Urban League, where 3 top Democratic presidential candidates will also appear. The man who built a financial news empire to the tune of nearly $6 billion
and faithfully discharged.
Then won a come-from-behind race for mayor in 2001, takes the subway to work, and runs the city like a CEO. And recently his national profile has skyrocketed. He's hung out with California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and left the Republican Party to become an independent. His staff even unveiled a new website, Mike2008.com. But if all this looks like a prelude to a self-financed White House run, Bloomberg says it is not. You know, there's been a lot of speculation about whether or not you will run for president. Have you made a decision?
Well, I have 890 days left in my term, but who's counting? And I plan to finish out my term as mayor of the city of New York and then go into philanthropy. But I think it's interesting. People assume you are running for president when you just say, look, these are issues that I care about. These are issues that are important for my daughters and for the world that they're going to be part of, that I'm going to help leave them. And why should only presidential candidates focus on that? I think we all have an obligation.
But when people see the fact that you've been in more than 20 states in the last 18 months, some of them are considered key states in the election?
But in all fairness, they're key states because they're big states, and big states are where you're more likely to have things to do or be invited to speak. So that's just an accident.
He's not running, he says, but this day's focus is on one of the campaign's top issues, education.
Today, Black and Latino 12th graders who should be reading college catalogs are reading at the same level as white 8th graders. Is this really the best that we can do for public education? No ways. I think we're better than that.
Bloomberg's speech is heavy on specifics, like merit-based pay for teachers. His audience at the Urban League, mainly African American, a group that feels largely ignored by the party he just left. The top Republicans have declined to be here. How do you explain that behavior?
I don't know why. I mean, I would come. The Urban League I've always thought is a great organization. I've never believed that there is a party philosophy or that the parties speak for everybody in them. And in fact, you don't want that. You want every party to be a big tent.
But it's a tent that, had he run as a Republican, might not have been big enough for Bloomberg, who used to be a Democrat. A fiscal conservative, but social liberal, who supports gun control and doesn't take a conservative line on immigration.
We need to bring into this country people that will work with their elbows and work with their intellect. We need to do something about the 12 million immigrants and give them permanent status.
You're very passionate about certain issues. Is there anything that could change your mind and make you run for president?
I don't think so. I think that both parties will come up with candidates that the public will look at, and half will like one and half will like the other. The public will have a choice.
Would you consider being on the ticket as a vice president?
No, I've got a job, and it's a great job, and I'm going to finish this job, and then my next career is going to be in philanthropy.
So what does he think of those who are in the race, like his predecessor, who wasn't thrilled when he shunned the GOP?
I am disappointed that he left the Republican Party. I still respect what he's done as mayor.
Rudy Giuliani, your predecessor, endorsed you. Would you endorse him if he is nominated?
Well, he endorsed me, as did John McCain, incidentally, so you'd have a little bit of conflict there. What I have said is that I will stay out of the national race because I have to work with everybody, with whoever gets elected.
The key for all the candidates? Bloomberg says offer specifics and be straightforward.
What I don't hear, which I'd love to hear some candidates say, I don't know. I mean, there's this issue. I have no idea, because I don't know what it's going to be like.
Isn't that risky, though, when they say, I don't know?
To me, you'd get my vote if you're honest enough to say, no candidate or elected official can have an answer for everything, every time. You can't be an expert on everything. And in fact, the president's job and my job and the governor's job is to pick good people, pick experts and have them do it, not to do it all yourself.
Advice from a man who insists he is not running. But those who watched his speech with me said they think he could still play a significant role holding candidates accountable.
There is no doubt that Mike Bloomberg, by sort of stepping up on the national platform, can have an impact on the political discourse in 2008.
Which means the barrage of speculation about a Bloomberg run will not end anytime soon. Except with the one person whom Bloomberg says will keep him in his place, his 98-year-old mom. What does your mom make of all this talk about her son?
Oh, she says it's very nice. I'll tell you a story. We have this 311 service, and you can call to report a pothole or get some information about the city or whatever. And I saw some trash in the streets. I'm driving the car, so I pick up my cell phone and I call, and the young lady takes the information. What street? What cross street? What's the problem? And she said, "No, I'd like to, can I get your name?" And I said, "Yes, Michael Bloomberg." And she said, "How do you spell that?" And when I told my mother that story, she said, "See, don't let it go to your head."
You can always count on dear old mom. He talks to his 98-year-old mom every day. Mayor Bloomberg is all about accountability. He wants to be held accountable for his actions and his decisions, and he insists that public voters have to hold the candidates accountable.
And he stood by that theory, too, because he answered your questions that a lot of people would have ducked. You were asking him a lot of straight questions that people try to insulate themselves from. Am I going to run? Am I not? He answered them. You got to respect that.